Live from the CBS Interactive Studios in San Francisco, California. It's our last show on the 6th floor of CBS Interactive with your host, Mr. Brian Tong.
You are correct with that. Oh my gosh, Beach. You made me sad for a little bit.
It's not our last show.
It's not our last show, but we're getting our entire 6th floor is getting remodeled, demolished. We're moving downstairs, like down underground to the bunker in the lower level where the sun don't shine.
Yes. We're going to be broadcasting from GameSpot studio for a while.
Yeah, we're gonna be broadcasting from GameSpot's location for the rest of probably around the next 3.5 months. So we're going to be missing this spot, but we're still going to be pumping out shows for you all. Again, this is the Apple Byte Extra Crunchy, an extension of our Apple Byte video podcast show, but also more in-depth, more stories, the latest and greatest. And if you all want to be a part of the show, we always tell you how to do it. Call us at 1-800-616-2638. Leave your name, where you're from, and your comment, your question. We will put those in the show. I forgot to say that last week, but also if you're watching or listening while we're doing the show live, you can tweet us. Just tweet me at Brian Tong, and we will answer your questions that are relevant within the show during the course of the show. So let's get to it. Right now, the number one thing that you all, guys and gals, should be worrying about is updating your iOS devices, like right now.
Oh, yeah.
Did you do it yet, Beach?
I did it just right before the show, literally.
This is important, okay? Let me tell you why this is important. Apple just released a security update in response to a malware threat that basically turns your phone into a pocket spy. This threat is dubbed Trident by the mobile security firm Lookout, and it exploits 3 zero-day vulnerabilities in iOS 9. So let me just tell you some of the cool, fun stuff that they might be able to get access to. It's active malware that can be used to read your texts, read your emails.
That's not good.
Record your calls from like WhatsApp and Viber. Track your location. Hey, it can turn on your phone's camera.
That is
freaky. And microphone. Okay, this is something that you should be aware about. Apple released an iOS update to 9.3.5. Just go to your settings, general software update. You'll see that this is a high risk vulnerability that everyone should take care of. This is all this update is about. So just do it. Get rid of Trident from potentially exposing your phone's information, which we don't want. We don't want.
That's like some NSA crap.
Oh, that's some deep stuff. That's
they're
deep.
Like staring at you in your room while you're doing whatever you're doing.
In fact,
your phone.
You know, it's National Topless Day too.
Today, not only National Dog Day, but
it's National Dog Day and National Topless Day, which is if someone takes advantage of your phone, the camera and mic, you don't want that to happen during National Topless Day.
TOPLESS. Sorry, that's an inside joke.
Wait, what is that from?
There's a guy who's like into being topless, and he likes to spell the word topless.
There's a guy who likes to go topless. So make sure you check that out. An iOS security update. It's available now. Go do it. It came out yesterday. It's probably a smart thing to do. I know sometimes I battle between just laying down thick the iPhone 7 news, the latest news, because I don't know, maybe you guys and gals are sick of iPhone 7 stuff. I think some people are, some people aren't, but it really is the topic that everyone continues to talk about. So just kind of what we've believed and heard. Bloomberg, who is dropping all kinds of news on us, and really that is because Mark Gurman, who was really the ultimate super scooper of every Apple thing you could think of. He was with 9 to 5 Mac. He now is actually working for Bloomberg, so all the scoops are coming through him now. The company is planning, and he has confirmed that indeed the rumor of the no home screen button will be coming to the 2017 10th anniversary edition. Wow. Additional news was that, and when he, quite honestly, let's be real, when you hear it from him, his sources are so tight that it's going to happen. So the story reports that Johnny Ive has been wanting to create an iPhone that was completely glass without any physical button whatsoever, and 2017 will be that year. Just another reason why I just keep telling y'all, it's why are you really gonna get an iPhone this year? Like, really? Why? Not only that, it will have an OLED display. The display is rumored to be flexible, so it'll wrap around the edges. Pretty much, if you see what the Samsung Note 7 looks like, that reminds me of all these early renders from 4 years ago of what the iPhone future was going to end up looking like. Just really slick, no bezel, a little bit of black on the top of the bottom of the front of the face of the phone, but no home screen at all. So I think it's gonna
Or no
it's
home
gonna be
button.
no, sorry, home button.
So
Yeah, you need a home screen.
Was he just? I don't do a very good impression, but was he just looking at his phone one day? I was like, oh my gosh, this home button is so ugly.
This
I have to get rid of it.
By reducing the lines of the iPhone and eliminating the need for a button, we decided to bring you an all glass display. All glass, no bevels.
This is the future of iPhone.
It's the future. So that's what's happening. In addition to this, I thought another cool story that was part of this from Bloomberg is that Japan, we know that we have Apple Pay here in Europe. In Australia, it's getting rolled out slowly but surely. We have it here in the U.S. Japan has had mobile payments, I shoot you not, at least from as long as I can remember.
20 years?
I was there in 2005. So it was before 2005, but I was there in 2005 when we were already using flip phones with fingerprint scanners, fingerprint scanning recognition to unlock your phone in 2005 in Japan. Okay, that's how far this goes back. The payment system out there is called Felica, is actually created by Sony. And so what Apple is going to do also is that in this next coming phone, or they're working with their mobile payment service to use Felica technology. Now, why is this all so cool? Okay, Japan is the future. If you haven't been there you haven't seen how that country operates, they had 3D GPS taxis in 2005, okay? Like 3D scaled
I don't even know what
buildings.
that is. What is a 3D GPS
Like,
taxi?
the GPS was like a 3D model of the city while you were going
cool.
through
Okay,
in 2005, okay? 2005 for us, we were still using GPS model units on our cars.
Yeah, we didn't even have the iPhone yet, right?
No. The way the culture in Japan is, I don't want to say it's a disposable culture, but they're very quick to adopt and adapt to new things. So that's what makes it really exciting. Okay, so this Felica technology, what's also cool about it is it's actually a chip. So it's faster than Apple Pay. Apple Pay has to ping a server and then get an approval. So if you've ever used Apple Pay, it's nice, it's slick, but you might have to hold it there, scan your finger, wait for a few moments, wait for it to authorize. It might be, I'm sorry, it sounds really bad, a 2-second transaction, right?
Seconds matter, man.
Felica technology does it in 0.1 seconds. The chip is on the device that does all the authorization. 0.1 seconds. In addition to that, the Felica chip also allows you to, they have their kind of like e-money. It's kind of basically a credit system or a form of currency that can be used in places like vending machines, AMPMs, things of that nature. When I was there in 2005, I used it at a karaoke joint. I used it at a movie theater. You could buy airline tickets with your phone. Where else did we go? We went to an arcade. So this is all amazing technology that I hope that is the future of what we'll start seeing in Apple Pay. Not only a lot faster transactions, but being able to truly have some sort of currency that's on your wallet as well, that you could use anywhere.
That's awesome.
Right? So that's really replacing, that's really truly replacing cash, quite honestly.
Cool. I'm down. I don't like to carry cash. I never carry cash.
So
that's awesome.
Go say bye-bye to the home button, and then Apple, if you're in Japan, your Apple iPhone will be getting linked up with Felica payment technology, which is very, very cool. Also, in the iPhone world, I don't know if you all have heard about this. The more I talk to people about this, the more it's become really just a serious issue, and maybe some of you have experienced this. But reports have finally, I would say really over the past week or two, have started to really bubble now with this symptom affecting the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6s, and it's being dubbed touch disease. Now, have you heard of this at all, Steven?
No, but it sounds gross, whatever it is.
I don't want no. Hey, I don't want no iPhone STD. I don't want no touch. I don't want no touch disease.
Touch me. I don't want no.
I don't want no iPhone STD.
Gross.
All right, so what iPhone? Wow, that was. I got to pat myself on the back. That just came off the top. The iPhone touch disease. What's happening is it's really a design defect specific to the iPhone 6 and the 6 Plus. What it is there's basically two chips, right, inside of the design on the logic board of the iPhone 6 and 6s. And what happens is that they actually are starting to get loose over time.
Okay.
And what happens is because of this, it's preventing the phone from being responsive. The actual touch functionality is lost. You'll sometimes see like a gray flickering bar on the top, and it's losing its touch capability. So what happened is the only way to really, it's the IC chips on there. What's really happening now is that people are saying, oh, it doesn't work anymore. They're trying to get Apple to fix it, but right now it's past the 1 year warranty. I know multiple people who said it's past the 1 year warranty, the standard 1 year warranty to get Apple to repair it. Apple has not acknowledged that it's an issue, but it's a widespread issue. I know multiple people that have had this problem, specifically to the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. Now, it's also kind of curious because in the 6S and 6S Plus design, Apple changed the way the body was made and changed the placement of the chips where they've actually stabilized them so they do not become loose anymore. So clearly, to me, it tells me that because they address that specific design issue, they know about it.
It's like a car. It's almost like a car recall sort of thing. Like they need to do like an iPhone recall and secure these little chips for people.
They knew about it and they know about it. It's clear they do, right? Now, I'm sure
that's a lot of, that's like an $800 device that is falling apart. That's a problem.
My producer Mitch has had it happen to him twice because when I asked him about it, he's like, "Oh, that sounds like what happened to me." And then we started talking about it, and it happened to him twice. So at the moment, you can only go through third parties to really fix this issue. You have to either go to third party, or if somehow Apple, you have to either swap out the phone, replace the logic board, or get those chips fixed as well. So it's pretty much a swap out if you're on Apple side. But again, they aren't acknowledging the issue at all. It's out of warranty now because guess what? The timing is like 2 years. Guess what? Oh, wow. It's perfectly timed for a new Apple phone, an iPhone.
Are you having a flickering issue? You better get a new phone.
It's like this gray little flicker bar on the top, and then typically the touch capabilities on the phone just completely go dead.
Recall. Do a recall, Apple. That would be cool. That'd be like the first phone recall in history.
Yeah, I mean, I sold my iPhone 6 already long ago because it's like kind of a donezo deal. Yeah. Okay, and then this last story, at least before we talk to our friendly sponsors, is a YouTube channel called Phone Buff put out this video, and it opened a lot of eyes, perked my ears, got my interest, got the internet's interest, and basically they ran what they like to call a real-world speed test between the Note 7 and the iPhone 6S. Now, for the record, before people get all cray-cray on me, I have been on the record saying the Note 7 is the best feature phone, hands down, for the year of 2016. Okay, so let me preface that so y'all don't get crazy on me. Now, this test, though, shows that the iPhone 6S is faster than the Note 7. What they do is they open up a variety of apps. I think it's around like a list of 12 or 14 apps, and they open them in order, same timing. They time it directly the same and wait for each app to finish opening and closing. Then as they go down the line, you can start seeing that the iPhone opens the apps faster. And sure, you might say it's a little bit a second. At one part, they have the phones both render a piece of video. That's where the iPhone 6S starts to fly against the Note 7. Then once the entire list of apps are opened, they go through that one more time. And why that also is important is because that has to do with RAM management. How do you deal with reopening an app? How is it prioritized in the phone? Okay. That's also where the Apple iPhone took a huge jump. And the result, after running these kind of 2 laps of opening the apps, the iPhone finished the task in 1 minute and 51 seconds. The Note 7 took 2 minutes and 49 seconds.
Wow.
That's a big difference.
That's big. Yeah, that's huge.
So everyone's like, oh, that ain't a real world test. I'm sorry. Like, that's as real as
Looks
you can
like a
get.
real test to me.
Yeah, if you compare one app to one app, fine. The other issue also, though, then people fire back like, that's not true. In the Geekbench tests, the Note 7 is superior to the iPhone 6S. And you're right, the actual hardware, the raw hardware inside those phones is completely superior. Right now in the US, we have a Snapdragon 820 quad-core 64-bit processor, 4 gigs of RAM for the Galaxy Note 7. The iPhone is a dual-core A9 processor with only 2 gigs of RAM. And all it does to me is this is not a propaganda thing. It just points to how important the ability to integrate your software and hardware together, it does make a difference.
Oh, big time.
And so I'm not saying here's the thing. I'm not saying the Note 7 is I'm not saying the iPhone 6s is a better phone, but at the moment it's faster at opening apps and has better RAM management, and that might change with a software update for the Samsung Note 7. But at the moment, come on, you've got to give the iPhone the lead, and then it makes you wonder, oh my gosh, like the new 7 isn't even out.
And that's gonna be even faster. So that's a cool test, man. That's a really cool video. We got to do some stuff like that.
Yeah, I man, we got to make a video so we can get views on that. Right?
No, it's just cool. Like we've done speed tests like that, but mostly we test like software and like Siri against like Google Now and stuff like that. But that's pretty cool.
And look, you can always argue these points either way. I don't lean on any side, but look, right now, even at that, the Note 7 is still the best phone of the year. Right? The features on that thing is redonkulous, and there's always going to be a battle between tech specs and ecosystem, blah, blah, blah. We'll talk about that a little later, but I just want to throw it out there and kind of at least try to explain and balance it out instead of talk about it in a 1-minute segment of my show, and then people went literally bananas. Like
Bananas.
Bananas.
Bananas. So what was the difference in time again? It was Apple was 147.
It was basically Apple was around 151, and the Note 7 was 249. So almost
that
a
is
whole minute.
almost a whole minute of time that you're wasting using your Android. Oh
yeah,
my God.
yeah. So, and it comes down to software. It really comes down to software optimization. At the same time, I will tell you, opening an app, it's not entirely slow, and it just comes down to putting TouchWiz on top of Android. If you put stock Android Nougat on a Note 7, good Lord, that's just the killer. That's where it should be at. But this is why also we've heard lots of stories of Google looking to build their own hardware and software together as an option for Android now because of things like this, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to hear bad things.
I saw a
like
headline that like Samsung's most advanced phone runs on an old version of Android. That was like the headline. I was like, oh.
You're like, great. Thanks, man.
Cool.
So we will keep you all posted. Again, we all know iPhone 7, at least that's what it now looks like they'll be calling it, should be announced. The target week is September 7th, which is a Wednesday. We typically get an invite the week before, so if that is the case, we should be seeing an official invite from Apple next week. But until then, we're going to read a little bit of sponsor action right here. Thank you to iDevices, handpicked by Apple to be one of the original HomeKit launch partners. Currently, it has the largest line of HomeKit products on the market. iDevices believes in top-of-the-line quality, smart home customization, designed and engineered in-house in Avon, Connecticut. iDevices stands behind their quality and craftsmanship, 100% US-based customer service. Now, iDevices has this complete lineup. I have tried 2 of them. Connected home products including a smart plug, a Wi-Fi thermostat, a rain-tight outdoor smart plug, and a newly introduced socket adapter to make any dumb bulb a smart bulb.
Cool. Each product has fully customizable night light that can add ambience and flair to your smart home. No hub, no fees, it just works with simple setup and seamless integration. The premier HomeKit aggregator app manage and control all iDevices products and any other HomeKit-enabled device. More than just gadgets, smart home products designed for a complete smart home experience. And it uses Siri and Alexa voice commands.
Works like a charm. I've used them. So check it out. Surf on over to iDevicesinc.com. That is INC.com. Use the promo code AppleByte. 15% off for your home's evolution. Say it with me, Beecham. iDevices. Evolving your home. All right. Excellent. Back to the show. iOS Beta 8 is out. They just put it out today. For all you people that are developers, you can check it out. Right now, they're really at the point where they're just doing kind of real subtle optimization and bug tweaks. We're not going to see any new major massive features being revealed anymore, but there's been a lot of other things. Like, it's weird, the lock, when you click kind of the power button or whatever, the lock screen button on your phone, it's now like this weird knock on wood sound.
Oh,
it's not like a click. Cool. It's like a
Interesting.
It's kind of interesting. And they have a bunch of little bells and whistles like that. Obviously, the barf of messaging, which is going to be crazy to me. I just think it's troll up, man. It's troll up. All right. In addition to iOS getting some updates, we know we've seen it. I've seen it. I don't know if you have. I was one of Siri's Siri was probably one of the more disappointing things for a while, for a long time from Apple. But I don't know if you all can tell, even if you were a fan or not a fan of it, but it's significantly better now. It's not as fast and not as accurate as Google's voice recognition, but
No.
it has made huge strides. So one of the things that Siri is benefiting from now is the fact that Apple over time has started to kind of change the algorithm, change some of the technology behind the scenes for Siri. And in a report from Back Channel that kind of went in depth with Apple's team of some of the things they do, when iOS 10 arrives this fall, which again is most likely in the September, Siri should probably sound a little more natural, have a little more flow. A lot of times it's kind of been mocked for how robotic Siri actually is.
Yes.
So what Apple has done is they're swapping out some of their licensed technology and replacing it with a deep neural network. And for those that are always hearing about this like neural network, what does it really mean? What it comes down to, think of it as machine learning. Think of it as allowing, based on users using a product and writing in code that allows allows the machine or the computer or this neural network to learn from things. For example, human language, sometimes we combine words that you just don't make sense and could only be taught, right? There's things that we know, or even how to say certain words that are a learned thing, not something that can be programmed. And so a neural network, when it sees these matches happening a lot, it starts building it into its base of definitions, right? It starts to become part of the standard. So they have replaced some of their technology for a deep neural network. And with this, it says, while these responses are still like being pinged from a server, being stitched together from a central database of recordings that have already been made, machine learning is going to help to smooth out some of these sentences. And according to them, make Siri sound a lot more human.
That's good.
So,
yeah. You know what annoys me the most is when I tell Siri to like set an alarm or something, and then she always gives me like that back like joke, you know. Remember, a watch timer never boils or something stupid like that. Is there a way to turn that off?
Turn off Siri jokes? Is there an
I tell
option?
her like, Siri, I don't want to be joked with right now, and she'll be like, okay, sorry, Steven.
And then you find yourself talking to your phone like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
What am I doing with my life? According to Apple, according to Craig Federighi, Siri's voice recognition moved to a neural net-based system back in July of 2014. It started then. Apple didn't publicize that fact, but the technology has helped them improve it drastically. I can definitely say it has been able to get a lot better. I mean, even just doing voice dictation to text, it's definitely smarter.
Oh, yeah.
It's more...
Definitely.
Man, I couldn't use it year 1, year 2. I was like, come on, this is
it's impossible. You have to do so many edits.
I was like, this
fixes.
is just trash. It's a lot better. It still has a ways to go, but it is doing a lot better. So why is this important? Why is like Siri actually being updated and upgraded helpful? Well, according to this report, and it was on NPR, Barbara Streisand, the singer, aka Babs, the legend, all right, she said on NPR that on September 30th, it's kind of random. Everyone's like, huh, what are you talking about? She says that iOS's update will fix Siri's pronunciation of her name. And the issue here at hand, in one of the arguably the worst first world problems that we have ever experienced in this world, is that she was annoyed that Siri kept on pronouncing the middle of her name with a Z. So it would say Streisand instead of Streisand.
So did she like contact Apple and say this is a problem?
She called Tim Cook directly.
Oh, I guess she has that access, huh?
She called Tim Cook directly to complain about it. Timmy C said, okay, we'll make sure it gets fixed
We're
in
gonna take care of that
iOS
right away,
10.
Miss Streisand. We'll handle that.
They should just over exaggerate it. Miss Streisand.
Miss Streisand.
So hey, Siri working miracles for you and me and Barbara, Babs.
Ooh, yeah. I love Streisand.
Yes, awesome. She's pretty smooth. I ain't gonna lie. Another report: Apple Music. I know it's continued to it. Man, I almost I almost signed up for Apple Music this week.
Why? Because of Frank
Because
Ocean.
Frank Ocean's Blonde album. I really almost did, and then
That's
I'm like,
crazy.
and then I'm like, just wait a week. Just wait a week so I can like check it out on actual
when it comes out
iTunes
on everything,
and everything else. Apple's been doing a great job of starting to lock down a lot of these exclusive deals for music artists to have at least an exclusive window to hear their music on Apple Music first before it gets dropped everywhere else. So this is also kind of coming into play with what's happening outside of the world of Apple, specifically Spotify. So according to Music Business Worldwide, several of Spotify's contracts are up for renewal, and Apple's rates are higher. What they pay are higher than what Spotify pays in negotiations. I know you like artists getting paid, right?
Yes, and I know Spotify pays you like 0.01 cent for every stream or something.
It's like poo-poo.
If you're like an indie artist,
it's like doo-doo. That's doo-doo. So overall revenue, okay, this doesn't break it down by like cents per song. Spotify reportedly pays record labels 55% of its revenue, while Apple Music pays 58% of its revenue to these record labels. Now, the other issue here is that Apple is also said to pay more to publishers than Spotify does. Now, I know you're a music guy. I looked this up, but I'm putting you on the spot. But for you, can you explain to people, sometimes they get mixed up record label, music publisher. Record label, music publisher.
Yeah.
Can you kind of talk about some of the differences between that? Because you hear that a lot.
Record label, music publisher. Record label, like they take care of the artist. They sign a deal. They sign like a couple albums or whatever, however many songs. They take care of the artist. Publisher wants to like get that music in like movies, TV. They want to get it everywhere they can, radio, blah 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 blah. So you get different. You get different. What do they call it? You get different payments from different places. So you get money from having your music played on the radio, having it streamed, but from the record label, you get money from having albums sold, you get money from albums streamed too, but publishing is more like, get into movies and stuff.
Where the music is heard. Now, is it safe to say it's not exactly a record label kind of almost works more like the marketing arm for an artist as well as signing them to deals?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Where the publisher is just getting that music everywhere and then getting paid for it, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's how you can distinguish between the two. So in addition to this, right, the labels are kind of like, hey, Spotify, we're getting 58% of revenue from Apple. We know Spotify, you have this large user base, significantly larger than Apple right now, but the momentum is swinging a little in Apple's way. Apple has had some explosive growth.
They were like one of the first, to be out there with the music.
So we're going to see how this all plays out. Ultimately, they're going to get it done. It's not like these record labels are going to be like, no, we don't want to work with Spotify, but it just shows that Apple is starting to have influence in the streaming music business where they didn't before, mostly because of their relationships with artists. We had talked about how they might try to acquire Tidal. I don't think, honestly, Apple needs to buy Tidal at all. I think Apple just needs to wait out this game with Tidal. Tidal only has like something like, I think, 4 million subscribers. I think Apple's around...
It's pretty big.
I think Apple's
like
around
10 million
I think
plus,
15-ish.
right?
Yeah, 15-ish. And then Spotify is like 30 plus, right?
Yeah.
So quite honestly, Apple just lets Tidal's artists be like, hey, we're actually going to put our music on yours eventually, and then it'll come to them because Tidal's not growing enough.
Yeah.
They've really kind of plateaued from all indications. So just a little bit.
Like Tidal's whole thing was like star power and high resolution audio files.
Yeah.
That was like their big selling point, but that didn't really work out very good.
It's not working out as well as they thought. And before we head on over to our dope voicemails, we just want to let you know we are taking care of you, the listeners of this show, people that watch us live, to celebrate the roughly, we don't even really exactly know, but the actual Apple Byte show has hit somewhere around the 400th episode.
Wow.
I know, isn't that crazy?
Congrats,
isn't that cray-cray?
Someone in the YouTube chat was just saying, I can't believe I've been watching the Apple Byte for 9 years.
Shut up.
Is that true?
Not 9, but maybe like 7 or 8. Man, I really have to go back and see when the very first episode was made.
Yeah.
That is kind of insane. But
That is insane.
I appreciate y'all for watching and hanging out with us. But anyways, I forgot to give you the link, but maybe you can at least show the link on screen.
Oh, I got it.
If you guys go to this is the website to go to, CNET CNET.co, not .com. Everyone's like typing in .com. CNET.co/Apple Byte Sweeps. If you do that, we have a contest. You have a chance to win one of 2 new Apple TVs. The contest goes all the way till September the 8th. Tell your friends, tell your mama, tell your buddies, or don't tell all of them so you have the best chance of winning.
Is this the right page?
That is correct. Scroll down.
Okay, good.
So yeah, it is.
Oh yeah.
It is our sweepstakes to allow you to get, just to show you a little love for all the love that you have given us, and we appreciate it. So check it out. CNET.co, Apple Byte Sweeps. Win a dope Apple TV, not Apple Byte TV.
The Apple TV plays the Apple Byte. So
that is correct. You need it. It's important. Yes. Okay.
Is that it?
Yeah, let's go check.
Voicemails.
We got a voicemail, man.
Okay, yeah, let's listen. Here we go. We have a voicemail from let's see, John in Salt Lake City.
Hi, this is John from Salt Lake City. I was just calling because I wanted to get your thoughts on this. I feel like Apple and its entire ecosystem and family is incredible. iPhone, iPad, the watch. But what bothers me or infuriates me is that time and time again, Samsung is destroying Apple on technological advances. Whereas when I use Android or Samsung devices, I struggle with their user interface. Does that bother you guys? It bothers me because the Note 7 was the first time I said to myself, I might actually try Samsung. Anyways, want to get your thoughts. Thanks.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner chicken dinner. This is exactly what has been plaguing or affecting Apple users for, I think it's really started. The Note 7 was kind of like the final straw. They're like, wow, we are really behind technologically. I think that Apple has focused on offering different models and sizes of products instead of pushing their technology hard enough, big ideas, big goals. Here's the 2 most indicative things of how this company is different. And it's just a historical basis. SJ was always like one phone, one size. This is going to be the product. Everyone's going to know it. That worked back then. Tim Cook's like, we're going to make phones of different sizes, like 3 different sizes, and we're going to keep them there, and we're going to make margins and money at every level. So from a business standpoint, it's smart, but from an innovation standpoint, because you're spread so thin across all these different phones, not to mention other products, not to mention introducing Apple Watch, when you can't be as focused on something, we've seen it with plenty of other companies. Google's a great example. They do great stuff in some areas, but in others they can't because they're just not focused enough. The product suffers.
Yeah.
And so Apple has relied on their ecosystem even, year 2, year 3 when the iPhones were coming out. I said their Trojan horse was the ecosystem. That's what's going to keep people locked in. But think about this, how things have changed. The technology on other platforms, specifically the Note 7, is so good that you'd be like, I'm thinking of leaving this ecosystem because it's technologically really behind. Like that screen is nothing can compare to that screen on that Note 7.
It is beautiful.
It is redonkulous. The craftsmanship of the actual phone is awesome. All the features that it has, the waterproof stuff, the iris scanning, super fast. Waterproof. Or
Right
water
there.
resistant. Sorry, y'all, water resistant. But it has a lot of things that Apple just doesn't have. And guess what? If you want that, you'll have to wait till the 10th anniversary iPhone coming in 2017. And we'll even see where there's most definitely going to be things that it can do. But also, if you're kind of trying to tell people, oh, our technological advancement is we don't have a home button, and although that might be cool because it's smooth, you better be giving me a lot of other software features or benefits because we take away that home button. Because at the end of the day, if just by making it an all-glass piece was your goal, that's more of a design innovation versus a technological innovation.
But that speed test, I want to go back to that speed test because that is like huge thing. That's a big selling point. Like
Absolutely.
the phone is so much faster. Like that's crazy. That's what a lot of people want. They want a super fast phone, and all the other bells and whistles are cool, but all of us want a super fast phone, and that's what Apple's doing. So
super fast, reliable. We aren't seeing that many
reliable.
people. Yeah, we
That's
aren't.
another one.
That I'm quite honestly right. It tends to be more reliable overall. So I had this whole debate after everyone saw the whole speed testing that I posted. People were like coming at me like, oh, like 2 weeks ago when I was raving about the Note 7, I was freaking getting paid off by Samsung. And then 2 weeks later, I'm such an Apple fanboy that sucks apples, you know what? Like, I've seen it all.
You gotta just stop. Just ignore that stuff.
No,
man.
I have seen it all. But this is the conclusion that I have come to, is that, look, a lot of people, for whatever reason, feel insecure or offended when you say something that makes them feel like their phone is no longer the best phone.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Like, all of a sudden, they get mad at you for saying, oh, your phone's not as good as you thought, because there's another thing that does something better.
Yeah.
Apple does some things better. Samsung does some things better.
Insecurity. It's people's
It
insecurity.
is. It is. It's a reflect. To me, I'm like, dude, love the phone you've got. It's whatever works for you. It's all good. So, yeah, it's an issue that I think a lot of quote unquote the Apple fanboys, people that love the Apple brand, are facing, because they're looking on the outside like, my phone is not even close to the tech that other stuff has.
Yeah, it'll get there though. It'll all get there eventually. We just have to wait.
It's gonna be fine. I think, I asked people to tweet questions, but they were kind of more tweeting commentary on this. A lot of people are just asking on the dates for Apple's keynote. Really, we are expecting September 7th, but we will find out about that. John Laka's asking, when will the new MacBook Pro come out? I've been waiting over a year and need it now. John, hopefully that happens by the end of this year. We are expecting that. Black Lives Matters PB says, I don't appreciate your English, Johnny Ive accent. Sorry. But I mean, we got to do the show.
That's how he sounds, right?
You chose to listen to the Apple Byte. Apple Byte.
Do an impression of us. We won't
Yeah, it's all right. And then before we wrap this up, we wanted to give a shout out to Adam, who called in and gave our tag team a new name. Do you want to tell them what it is?
Oh yeah, Beach and Tong.
Beach and Tong.
Yeah, that was brilliant. He did it on accident. He said Beach and Chong, but then
and he meant
it rang out perfectly, right?
Yeah. So Adam, where was he from?
I think he was Salt Lake City or Texas, because
He might have been Salt Lake.
All our calls today were from either Salt Lake City or Texas, Austin and San Antonio.
That's just money. That's straight money. So we're gonna roll with that.
You need to Photoshop that.
Yeah, we're gonna roll with that for as long as we're both working together, which is hopefully a long time.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna do it. Before we go, let me just give our little farewells and thank yous to iDevices, manufacturers of meticulously designed and thoughtful products like smart plug switches, thermostats, and sockets, a light bulb adapter that turns any dumb bulb into a smart one with dimming capabilities, and a full-color customable night light. More than mere gadgets, iDevices aims to evolve your home with products that are built around your life. Surf on over to iDevices.com. Use the promo code AppleByte for 15% off your home's evolution. Say it with me, Steven. iDevices. Evolving your home. All right, just one more reminder, you can always call us, voicemail us, 1-800-616-2638 for the Apple Byte Extra Crunchy. That's going to be it from here. This is the last time you're going to see this studio for about 3.5, 4 months.
Yeah, 3.5. Say goodbye to the studio. Thanks, studio.
Say adios, y'all. We'll see you next week. Peace.